Castle today, actually, as a shareholder, as a proxy, as an ANZ business banking customer, and also as a fifth-generation member of the Upper Hunter community. I won't ask you to confirm, because I know you can't, but my understanding is that within my community, ANZ currently banks Glencore, banks BHP, and as recently as last year was banking New Hope Coal. I wanted to add a local, very personal perspective to some of the comments from today. So, in just over 20 years, I've watched as my community has been transformed from an almost exclusively agricultural community to really being the epicentre of thermal coal production in Australia. And you can't quite appreciate the scale of what this looks like, sounds like, smells like, tastes like, until you're there. We have actually got more than 150 million tonnes total approved capacity. Glencore and BHP, just as random examples, have approximately 80 million tonnes. That's 8 Adanis of approved extraction within my community. CSIRO has concluded that we have a 12 gigalitre shortfall of water in the Hunter River, which is our primary water source, due entirely to mining-related groundwater damage. And the New South Wales Government's own air quality monitoring network reports that we are frequently double, sometimes triple, and on occasion up to 4 times the maximum limit for PM10 pollution. That's an incredible amount of dust, and for an asthmatic like me, it becomes a very personal issue. It's a problem for people like me when we get a cold, when I've had COVID, things like that. The fact, though, is that clients like BHP and particularly Glencore are not satisfied with the current amount of production that they have, and they are actively, despite more than 10,000 objections from my community, actively pursuing additional projects, and not only new projects, I'll make this distinction, but we are actually being modified to death. In fact, one of their mines, Wombo, is up to Mod 17. So saying no to new coal is great, but modifications need to be included in that. Now, I frequently have people tell me that the economic benefits outweigh all of the other considerations, but the fact is that we actually have a $1 billion wine and tourism industry and a $5 billion horse industry that are fighting off encroachment from coal mines. My question, sorry, I can see you'd just like me to just get to the point. My question is, if you won't completely rule out working with thermal coal companies, and if I take you on face value and you would very much like to be that responsible banker, to put pressure on them, will you come to the Hunter Valley to see firsthand what it is we are dealing with and to understand the way we're behaving? And related to that, would you come and meet with myself, a delegation of my community, and the local native title claimant who Glencore chose to vilify in advertising in our local newspaper because he had the temerity to object to one of their expansion proposals last year? We would love to meet you and show you what we're dealing with.
Let me just start by, and by the way, thank you for making the journey, and thank you also for your for speaking up on behalf of your community. Look, as I said, we're not saying okay to new thermal coal. It's reduced 85% since 2015 in terms of the lending we do. It's less than 0.1% today of our lending, and we'll be completely out of all direct lending to thermal coal within the next few years. So that's a clear statement of withdrawal by us. I'm happy to hear representations of the community. Naturally, if I say yes to every invitation, I can spend the whole year travelling around. But what I'd be more than happy to do is, if you wanted to make some representations to me, to have those either in written form, or indeed I can maybe arrange a teleconference or a telemeeting, if that's okay.
Pleased to do both. I can speak to you after the meeting if you'd like.
Great, okay, thank you, and thank you for your passion.